in kind of general support sort of statement. So he's not saying, I don't like the report. He's just saying that he feels a kind of a political bind.
Sure.
Recommending
I
something.
just didn't want you guys to vote approval on a report and then have to take out, yeah, that's all.
I think we could straighten out the details later when it gets done. Okay,
no,
that's
a good point. And Sean and others can come to our respective committees too and give testimony to follow up, which is important.
Yeah, there will be testimony. We will be. There is a bill that I've submitted in the House to. It's a short form bill that just says this is a bill to implement the recommendations of the Mobile Home Task Force Committee, and we'll fill in the details later. And that's kind of my bill actually. So the task force doesn't have to worry about it. And if I improperly interpret the recommendations, then that's my problem, and that gets straightened out in committee. But so that's moving along. We just need to have the report closed, and then I'll clean it up. Good.
Oh.
I'll do a little more cleaning up, and then take the watermarks off sometime this week and send it to the committees. Sean, we were talking a little bit about you behind your back. Mostly good things.
Okay, all right, I'll take it.
No, we were thinking about the vote and wanted to, because you'd mentioned that you would abstain or not be able to vote in it. I said that you had said that you would submit some sort of a letter or something, but if you want to clarify that, go ahead.
Sure. So, the department typically, as we know, our staff gets asked to be on a lot of these things, and we generally have a policy not to vote on recommendations that might end up becoming statutory proposals that may or may not be at odds with the administration. So I'm more than happy to write up a letter that or a memo from our office saying that we support the work, looking into the this important type of housing and are happy to be involved in the future, but we'll follow our policy of abstaining from voting on recommendations. So I hope nobody takes offense, but that's generally where we come down.
Okay, I think that's fine. That's very good. We can do that. The only big changes or the changes that were made from the previous version was the insertion of environmental justice as a recommendation, and also as something in the introduction, and also a portion at the end. I'm afraid that for myself, environmental justice has not been on my radar very much, and I regret that. So I was glad that Sandrine brought it up, and Liz Curry provided some input to it. Sandrine and Liz kind of worked together on it. I sort of said, you two go ahead and work on this, make some recommendations, and I'll roll them in, and they did, and I then changed them some and put them in. So that's the big changes from the last version. I also added some things in the construction portion from Peter Schneider, and a little bit in the conditions and needs. But what I sent out Saturday evening is where we are today. Nothing has changed on that, except nothing's changed on it. So how do you wish to proceed? We can talk about it for a while. We can vote on the whole report. We can vote on just the recommendations. We can, even if people feel necessary, if there are some of the recommendations that you're having difficulty with, we could probably go down and vote on individual recommendations. Or we can vote to take a recommendation out or something like that. But what I'd really rather we not do is have somebody say, could you put in something on, and then be very vague about it, and then we have to go back to square one and have another meeting and have it ratified and things like that. So thoughts on how to proceed, or do you want to just go with a vote?
Excuse me, I'm ready to go with the vote. I really appreciate the amount of work that especially you, Representative Taylor, have put into this. And with typos corrected and duplicate recommendations taken out, I'm happy to vote on the whole thing.
Yeah, actually, Jonathan Gray went through it pretty carefully with some and found a lot of my spelling and typo errors. And the double recommendation at the end was spotted by Gail too, and that's been mentioned to me. So that one I'll fix. Most of if there's typos in it now, those are still remaining after what Jonathan Gray looked at. So let me know about those. And I found a few after no matter what you do, there will be typos and there will be errors. I want to make sure there are no factual errors. And any way you want to do the typos, I mean, you can send me repeated emails, or you can wait and mark up one and scan it, or hand it. I'll be at Montpelier on tomorrow. Any way that you want to get fixes to me that are typos and grammar and things like that, fine. And I'm really like to get those taken care of, because I don't like a report that has spelling errors and things like that. It just looks sloppy.
Sorry, I think Gail was before me, but I have something responsive directly to what you said.
Go ahead, I can go after.
I was just going to say one thing that we can do, which will of course affect timing of the release, but as a last step you can send through the editing team here for cleanup type changes. Yeah.
Well, that's a thought, but I think the time is an issue. I guess. I'd like to get it out this week. There's committees that are waiting for it, and we're fast approaching crossover. If we're going to get anything done this session, it really needs to be taken care of quickly. Gail, go ahead.
I feel the same as Mary, that I'm ready to vote also, but I have a question about the environmental justice part that you just spoke about. So do you intend to insert more into the report, or you're talking about separately you will be doing something with the environmental justice?
No, the report is done. There's nothing more going to be inserted into it as far as I'm concerned. But the environmental justice issue continues, of course. And if there is and there will be testimony, then I think it's good that it's in the report, that we can bring that up, that it will be brought up in testimony for sure. And the other, there's lots of information people have sent me that is not in the report, believe it. I tried to get as much as I could in, but all that can come out in committee and in letters of support and things like that when we get to actually start working on legislation and policy and things.
So would it be possible for me to be privy to any information? I'm on the advisory council of the environmental justice, and I represent mobile homes.
Anything is public, and as far as I'm concerned,
Okay.
as far as I know, I mean, that's the way we work. So yes, you would be. I can keep you informed on anything that we do, of course.
That would be great. Thank you.
Go ahead, Wendy.
Gail, I have some other things, but were you, so you serve on the Environmental Justice Committee or Council? That's great.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that's wonderful.
It's kind of a slow process. They lost two of their coordinators, so it's kind of slowed down. I don't know if they've hired anybody yet. I haven't heard from them since December.
Okay, well, that's great. Well, so let me just talk just a little bit about what's happening in the Senate. John Gray drafted some language that we would use to implement on our side. It won't be I did propose a separate bill for the definitions, but what's expected to happen is that the mobile home language will go into a committee bill. And what we're trying to do is finalize the committee bill this week. And Representative Taylor, I don't know if you noticed that they want us to testify tomorrow to this. So things are moving quickly, but I think the report's great. I'm so glad we added the environmental justice, and I just want to say this has been a terrific group, and I think the report is good because we had the right people and you all participated, which I just immensely appreciate. And I hope it's okay if I keep in touch. I want you to keep in touch just as things happen. I want to use these connections to just know what's happening on the ground so that I can be helpful.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure.
So I'm ready to vote.
Okay, it is interesting that I came in on this without knowing anything hardly about mobile homes, except for my interactions with Gail and other people here in Colchester. But so I too have learned an awful lot on this. And it's been very rewarding. It's really something I'm interested in. And I think that's actually worked out well, because a lot of people who read the report will have known nothing about mobile homes. And so the report really kind of starts from scratch in some areas and assumes that people don't know anything. Sandrine, anything to add? Or
Yes, I was about to say, no, this report is definitely inclusive. It gives anybody who reads it information about knowing what mobile home and mobile home parks are, the gaps that we see, the struggle that we have, the challenges that we are facing, and we have good recommendations as well. So, and the really the input of everybody here, I'm happy with the result. Very happy indeed. And then very happy with the leadership. I mean, Representative Senator Harrison, I'm very happy with the leadership, because without that, we would not have this very valuable document at this time. What I wanted to, and I'm ready to vote. So what I wanted to say to Gail, the environmental justice piece was with you in mind in the council. This is just to push forward to support it.
Right.
So it's
Okay.
not forgotten. Okay.
Okay.
So there is nothing major that we have seen, we have said here that will endanger or it's. I think the language is very good. Thank you, Representative Taylor, for doing that. I would appreciate it. I'm ready to vote.
okay.
I'm just bummed that Sean doesn't. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I know what it entails. I'm just kidding, but thank you all. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah, if timing's a factor, you definitely don't want me bringing this to the 5th floor for them to weigh in on it.
Yeah, that's true. Polly, do you have anything from you?
No, it's been a great process, and echo what's been said already, and certainly ready to vote.
Okay, well, in that case, let's do it. A motion from someone to approve to approve the report of the Mobile Home Task Force and its recommendations. How's that? Anybody?
So moved.
Mary, so moved. Mary's, do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion then? People want to, discussion? I don't see any discussion. Okay, all those in favor of the motion to approve the Mobile Home Task Force report and its recommendations, raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
Gail, aye.
And all those opposed? Nope. The ayes have it. The ayes appear to have it. I've always wanted to say that. You have passed the rest of the motion. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Right.
very much, Representative Taylor.
Well, I
Really appreciate it. Yep.
Did we lose
And
him?
he's
We
done.
We
He's
lost
out.
him, I think.
Well, he said he wanted it done. So we got
Damn.
okay.
Oh,